Hey guys, I know it's been a while since I've made a video, but today I think I have a pretty interesting sample to look at. So hopefully you guys will learn something, and hopefully some people will maybe avoid getting infected by info stealers again. So this is another Photoshop crack, but this one's a little bit different for a few reasons. So first of all, this is the most viewed fake Photoshop crack download on YouTube, and it's been up for a month. And I've reported the video several times, but YouTube just doesn't care. Unfortunately. So it's still up. People are still getting infected. I actually think getting comments on my videos of people who got presumably infected with this one. And there's a couple other, not a couple other fakes, a lot of other fake videos, but this is the most viewed, so it's most likely that came from there. So let's go and just download this, analyze it. And oh yeah, the other reason of why this is a particularly interesting sample is, at least compared to the ones I looked at in my previous videos, this one is a lot harder to debug. I mean, for someone who does this frequently, it's not going to be that hard, but just relative to the ones that I showed before, it's more difficult. So let's go extract this. We're going to have to turn Windows Defender off because thankfully Windows Defender detects it. Unfortunately, I can't say the same for most other antiviruses. At least the last time I was scanning this. So this video, they update the payload like all the time. So when it gets detected, they just change the download. So it's kind of a cat and mouse game. So let's go scan our Adobe Activator here. So you can see this folder looks a little bit similar to the, actually it looks almost identical to one of the, I can't remember which video it was. I think it was maybe the last Llama Stealer video, but it's not the same code at all. You can see this is, I had looked at this 28 minutes ago. It's pretty poor detection rate, and before it was even worse. It was, at some point it was 6 out of 10. Right now it's 10 out, or sorry, it was 6 out of 72, and now it's 10 out of 72. And a lot of major antiviruses like Avast doesn't detect it, AVG doesn't detect it, Avira, Bitdefender, Malwarebytes, Sophos, Symantec. A lot of these vendors are not detecting, unfortunately. So let's go and go unpack this. I'm going to use, oops, 2, 3, 1. What's going on here? What am I doing wrong? Okay, I don't know what that was about. But okay, Adobe Activator. I'm going to go and open this in, I forgot, I accidentally unpinned IDA. Let's go open. Yeah, so I don't know if how many times I've gotten sidetracked from what I was trying to say, but yeah, this sample has some interesting anti-debugging, anti-analysis, anti-debugging techniques, you could call them. They make it a little bit harder to kind of debug it. So I don't have any plan. I didn't have any plans to edit my videos, but this file is gonna take a while in here to load in, and otherwise I just have you guys looking at it like a loading window for 2-3 minutes. I'm just gonna edit this video and do a time skip until when this is done. So I guess see you then. Okay, so now that IDA's finished loading in the file, we can go and begin our debugging. So I'm gonna go and copy the entry point. We're gonna go do our usual, throw it in here, disable ASLR if it's enabled, which it is. And we'll go to our breakpoint. Probably should turn off the internet too. That would be intelligent. Anyways, yeah, something weird happened. So it actually never hit the breakpoint, which is at the beginning of main. So how could that be happening? How is it throwing an error before it even gets to the main? Well, I'll explain why. What they did is, if you go here, we're in CRT startup. They actually replaced, they have been replacing functions inside of here. I've actually seen this on a bunch of different samples. Pretty easy to miss for someone who doesn't look at malware frequently, but becoming more commonplace. So in order to find out where they actually hid the code, we're going to go and we're going to put a breakpoint at the beginning of CRT startup, and we're just going to step over until it stops working, and we'll see where it happened. So just keep going. Yeah, I think it was right here. Yeah, it's 4FA3E8. I'll remember that. Yeah, there. Okay, so now we'll just go to 4FA3E8. And now we're at CNet. So this is calling a bunch of different function pointers, and presumably they were swapped one out with whatever their malicious code is. So we'll go to where it's calling each function pointer, and we'll put a breakpoint on there. So let's go here, call EAX, and let me restart that. And we're going to keep track of the EAX value before, again, the execution goes away. Yeah, F9, my bad. Okay, keeping track of that EAX value. Probably should slow it down a little bit. Oh, 845. Okay, let's copy that. Yeah, it crashed. Okay, so it crashed right after going here. So it's somewhere in here. So let's check out these functions, see what's going on. So, yeah, there we go. So what they do is they'll just shove in the shellcode, so you can see that they just put at the end of this function right here. It just goes right out of there into here. So we're just going to go and read through the shellcode and see if we can find any interesting API calls, maybe get proc address, virtual protect, something like that. Nothing there. Oh, that's something. There we go. Virtual alloc. So all we got to do is throw a breakpoint on that and see what happens. So let's go here. Virtual alloc. To remove that breakpoint. Excuse me. So that word virtual alloc we can simply step over, and virtual alloc returns the memory allocates an EAX register, so you can just jump to that memory in here. And debating how I should explain this part to you guys, because it's going to require me crashing this a few times just to get my point across, but let's just say I put a breakpoint here, because the reason we're putting a breakpoint in the allocated memory, because it's empty right now, we want to find out when they start executing. So actually, you want to do can you change the condition of when it, let's just say if we put a breakpoint here, look what happens. See, we get a crash and we get all this stuff. So what you want to do is you want to use a hardware breakpoint, and there's a few reasons why. Let me remove the old breakpoint. Okay, I'm going to go do the same thing. I'm going to follow in disassembler. So the reason we want to use hardware breakpoints is because when you do a software breakpoint, it actually it injects an int3 instruction, and if there's like self-decrypting shellcode or something's being modified, it will screw everything up. So that's why you want to use hardware on execution. We're going to use this a couple of times throughout debugging this. So watch what happens. We do run, and now no crash, and we get it breaks on the hardware breakpoint. So right now we can go ahead and just dump this because it wrote its next stage. Oops, why did I just type in shellcode? Do dump memory to file. We'll do shellcode 1. We'll go here, shellcode 1, open it. Press C to make it code, and we get more of this decryption stuff going on. So let's see what happens if we try and go and make this a function and try and read it in the, decompile view. So it looks like we get an error in the output. So what's going on here? Well, we see all these instructions. It looks like, relatively similar pattern of like XORs, exchange. Then we get to this J and Z, and everything after that looks just, it doesn't match like what's up here. So something's weird. What's happening is this is a decryption loop, and it's decrypting all the code in front of it. So all this code is just garbage. It's going back up here over and over again until it decrypts all of it. So how are we going to put a breakpoint and know when it's done is that we're going to use a hardware breakpoint again. We're going to put it right after the J and Z. So it's not going to matter if it goes and decrypts this, because it's only going to trigger on executes. Or not going to mess with any of the instructions. So that's hopefully I explained that good enough. So let's go and scroll all the way down here, put it to 4B7, do breakpoints hardware, and we see we can get valid code here. So might as well go and redump it since we decrypted the next part of it. So dump memory to file, go to desktop, shellcode 2.bin. You can just don't even need this anymore. Set offset 4B7. Go here. 2-bit mode. Go to 4B7. Press P, and now I get a valid function. And also what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'll go and rebase this to 23. Also might take a snapshot here. I was looking at this earlier. Well, that was a while ago. I put a YouTube snapshot just in case I screw something up. That's a good idea. Will save me time having to redo everything over and over again. Making mistakes is a normal thing. It happens all the time. I don't know if I'm gonna edit this small loading part out. I don't think it's worth it. But yeah, for the IDA thing, I'm at the beginning, since how big the file was and how many functions it had. Yeah, I'm gonna edit that out. Okay, so let's go back in here, and we're gonna rebase this. So now that we've rebased it, we can go and, well, let's just take a look here. So what's going on? So we can see it's calling a few things. That just returns nothing interesting here. This looks like it's reading from the PEB. Again, this is parsing PE header. Reading from PEB again. It's setting this to V5. Let's just go. Let's take a look at this actually first. Since this is really there are calls in here, but since this is just immediately jumping out to me just because it has the positioning of the parameters, I've seen enough create thread calls to assume this is likely is create thread. So let's go and just put a breakpoint on these call EDXs here. All right, so hit one of them, and it is indeed create thread. So this parameter is where the thread's being created, so we can follow that in disassembler. Put a breakpoint here. Technically, don't even. Well, let's go and put this here. And why is that happening? Did it not rebase? Yeah, I don't think it rebased. Whoops. Must have copied the wrong thing. Sorry about that. And I go and copy the address. And try rebasing that again. Okay. Now let's try going to this function. Just hit P to make it a function because I didn't make it for some reason. Now we got this. Again, it's really the same parameter positioning. It's likely another create thread call. Yeah, there's really not that many other calls here, so I'm just going to do the same thing. So where is this? This is ECX, yeah, it is ECX down here. So let's go and do a breakpoint here, go here, and then we get this. And this is some strange just call that's in the middle of nowhere. So we'll go over here. We can hit C to make that code because I didn't detect it was code. And we're gonna go and I'm actually just gonna follow this into. Well, I'll just set a hardware breakpoint on here just to be safe. Hardware and execution. We can follow this, and that takes us to right here. It's reading something. Yeah, I don't really care to look at any of this, so we're gonna just keep going until it either calls this or this. So I'm gonna just a call right here, and the last one is that. Okay, so let's go here. We'll do breakpoint here, and then what was that last one called again? BD77. It's gonna call one of these. Okay, let's follow this in here. So it did call BD77. BD77. Yeah, again, I'm my only goal here is to unpack it. I'm not making like a detailed analysis of every part of this loader or cryptid thing, but I'm going to go ahead and put a breakpoint in every one of these cases. Put a breakpoint here. Put breakpoint here. Put a breakpoint on 6. And if it doesn't hit any of those, then I'll deal with it when that time comes. Just hit continue. Get a breakpoint on 4B5. So which case is calling 4B5? So it looks like case 4. Yeah, I'm just gonna go inside of this case here. So what's in here? This is, getting the NT headers. a lot of different calls. So it seems that A1 is being used as like an API table index just by looking at this. It's every time it's calling something, it's A1 plus something. So what we could probably do is actually, let's just go into this function. I'm gonna go in, so I don't want to lose this progress. YouTube. Okay. Looks good. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go and rename this to API table. And I think we can create new struct type. Hopefully we can identify some of these. Just kind of get an idea what's going on. So what this is, so put these side by side. Pfunc38 EBX. So let's get module handle. So if we go, let's actually just file this in the dump. Sorry about that. Actually, I'm gonna go and change this to address. So now we have all the addresses of the different things. I think this should be correct. So this should be get module handle A. Then where's the next time it calls something? It's calling byte 625. So another EBX plus 120 ZW create section. There's probably some way I could copy all these, and I really should, into IDA to create a struct. But yeah, this is the entire API table. Where are we at? Not come prepared as prepared as I probably should have. CW creates this. This is like standard process hollowing. CW create section, right? Yeah. And then we can go down, get current process. That doesn't look right. Yeah, that looks completely screwed up. What the hell is going on? His name is get current process. Right. I think it's not reflecting the ZBX plus 70. Oh, let's go past this. Just gonna ignore the incorrect parameters into map view section. But yeah, this is clearly not accurate. Default 48. Just simply go to 48. It's virtual protect. Where are we at now? Defunct 3C. Virtual alloc. Need to import the, whatever. Not gonna do it. Actually, wait. Yeah. Still just labeling stuff right now. But I think we could generally get the idea. This is just process following. Oh, I didn't even notice that this was. I didn't even notice there was a P file in here. Wow. So actually, I don't even need to debug to the end. I can just dump it right out of the memory. I got so focused on the code that I could completely. Let me go and. You know, I'm just gonna follow this in the. Just no way to follow the memory map. Let's copy it. Yeah, this looks like a PA file. Okay. Yeah, so we can just assume that it's gonna, it's gonna hollow process and inject whatever it is, and we're about to find out what it is. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna go and dump this in memory map. So follow memory map. We'll go and dump memory to file, and there you go, Adobe Activator dump in. So do payload. I kind of do want to run it just for the heck of it to see. I mean, it's probably just gonna do what it needs to do and then close itself. Let's just run it. Yeah, I don't. It's probably in a different thread, but I don't. Now that I noticed, you see some of the threads are still going. Yeah, now that I noticed the MZ, I don't even want to debug it anymore. Okay, let's just see what this is. Actually, I'm just putting it on. First, I'm just going to put it on here. Payload. What is the payload? Oh my god, did I... Hold on a second. I'm so spacey that I forgot to try to trim off part of the header. Good job, Brian. Good job. Hope this is the right... There's no other MZ things. Yeah, let's fix this. I'm not going to trim off the overlay. Yeah, there we go. Now it's all detecting it. And llama stealer. Llama stealer, llama stealer, llama stealer. Yeah, so I mean, I can go and just look at it as a good end to the video, but I'm not gonna bother going and redoing this and pretending that I don't make mistakes like I did. So I'm just gonna. Well, I don't really consider it a mistake. It was more just me not noticing that it was in the dump. There, the MZ. So we could have saved some few minutes of me following the entire thing, but it is what it is. Is this payload? And Yeah, I mean, I don't know what the new version of it looks. Yeah, okay. This is the new version because it has these jump EAX at the end of everything. So yeah, this is definitely the newest version of Llama Stealer. So yeah, I mean that's the video. Hopefully you'll keep in mind those things I showed you about just a lot of malware putting the not next stage, but like the shellcode in the CRT in it. I don't know if anyone else has made video of that, or I'm sure there's been write-ups of it though. And then just knowing when to use like the hardware execution breakpoints. And yeah, I'm getting pretty sleepy right now, so I'm probably gonna go off, and I'll upload this tomorrow and edit it all together. So yeah, thanks for watching and stay safe.